Hello, it's John, and I also have little Patch with me here. Patch is on Patch Patrol. Usually when I start recording a video, he will decide that it's a good time for a poo. So who knows what's going on in Patch and his little Patch Patrol mind. Excuse my puffy eyes. My wife is just working through recovering from a cold and was coughing a lot through the night, and so we both struggled to sleep. But that's a good thing about being on holiday, on vacation, is that you can still recover regardless of regardless of what happens at night. I wanted to share an experience. So this morning, I was looking at my Facebook memories and I saw this, we'll switch around to get a view as well. I saw this picture of me, a photo of me when I was playing guitar and singing at an open mic in October 2017. And if you know a bit about my journey, it was November 2017 that I started in my first big awakening journey. And what happened was I was looking at this photo of me and just thinking, back then I was full-time senior software manager in AI at Amazon. I'd been there a couple of years. And every Wednesday I would go along to, or almost every Wednesday, I'd go along and play at an open mic night. Mostly I was playing cover songs, and sometimes I would have the odd song that I'd create, especially like an older song. Bearing in mind I hadn't really written songs in, somewhere there's a video that says how long my writer's block was, but 14 years plus. And I don't know about you, but look, there's one of these mirrors where you can see they're building a school here. Look, there's one of those mirrors. I say one of those mirrors, a reflective mirror. So yeah, what was really fascinating was just like witnessing this version of me. And I'd love to be able to go up to that version of me and say, "Hey, John," in a pub, in a very small, very old, like that pub's like a few hundred years old, in the seaside town where I live in Scotland. And I can just imagine having that conversation with myself, saying, "You're going to have a great time at Amazon. It's going to be amazing." And in parallel to that, what you're about to do is go into this super big transformational era of your life. And it all happens next month. It all happens in November 2017. And if you're new and you haven't heard about my journey, what happened is a dear friend, she's also a musician, she organized it was a Kundalini yoga meditation class. I'd never been to yoga or meditation. Never really meditated. I'd done like the odd. I attempted once or twice, but just never really managed to stick it out. I struggled to get a clear mind. Sound familiar? And yeah, I ended up going along to this class, and during the meditation, there's a few exercises, and there's some like Kundalini chants, and I remember in the meditation, I remember experiencing this really beautiful. I describe it as seeing. I still remember it visually very clearly, and it was the planets and stars all being created, energy flowing between them, just this beautiful, like, I describe it as some kind of this feeling of electrical, quantum-like energy that flowed between everything. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. And with that experience, it was so profound. And I remember the meditation class itself kind of went on a bit, and we went, kind of in and out of a few different meditations. And every time was just so intense for me. I can only describe it as an open heart awakening. And so I just asked the meditation teacher that was running the class, can I do this every day? And she said, yeah, sure, of course you can. You can just practice the same steps we did. And that was it. I was hooked. I've continued to meditate every day since. And so much changed, yeah. Within a couple of weeks I was talking to my spirit guides, asking them for messages. Then I started, since I was meditating in a home studio, I started using those meditation messages to create songs. And then from those songs, I then continued on. They continue on, right? There's over 2,700 of them now. And I've just continued to meditate and create songs. And in 2020, around then, I started doing, I should really look up the date. I started doing sessions for clients. So I started with friends, just doing 1 or 2 sessions a week, doing what I now call quantum psychic healing, clearings, readings, past life healings. And you're probably thinking, hey John, how did you go from never having meditated to within 3 years, beginning to learn on the job how to do healings for people? And I would just describe it as, it was all learned on the job. And what was cool about that was that, you get kind of free reign. You get to just feel until, look, Patch is on proper patrol now. What are you doing now, Patch? He's definitely on patrol to Patch Poo Patrol. But yeah, it took me until about after 900 days. Now I need to work out like the number of years. I guess that's what it's at, around something up to around 3 years. I started to realize that I was just going through the activation of the experience of talking to guides every day, and that it was real. Because I remember thinking, how could I have written so many songs by myself without any help? And that was at 900. And I remember thinking, maybe it's real, maybe it's true. In fact, it probably is true. In fact, it is true. And so from 900, I'm not saying you don't have to wait 900 days, right, to agree or disagree with yourself, to validate yourself about what it is you're doing and how you're doing it. I could have done that back in the first 2 weeks. 10 days instead of 900. I guess it was like an epiphany, a realization that, you know what, this is it. This is time for me to take heed, to take stock, to fully integrate what I can now do. So after that, going into just prior to lockdowns, starting doing sessions for people a couple of times a week and learning on the job, that was, another step in the transformation. And very expansive, right? None of this experience has been, none of the, what I'm trying to say, I'll say it in the positive. all of the exciting experiences have this expansive nature. You know, have this feeling of, I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing really. I'm just going to try it out in a safe space first. I'm going to practice, and then I'm going to see what happens. And a bit like walking on this grass and realizing that it's really wet, and now I'm going to have wet shoes for the day. It's fine. It's fine. So, yeah, I'm just so grateful for that that expansive experience. We can turn around here, Patch. And yeah, it was in May 31st that I left. I left my corporate job, started my own business, and now serve hundreds of you, if not into the thousands, at the very least through my YouTube channel. And thank you so much for 15,000 of you already. It's just such a magical experience. Somewhere along here there's a loop. Might be down here. I don't know. We might just be like walking forever. I think we should head back this way, Patch. I think it is that way. Is a loop. And so yeah, maybe let me know in the comments what you would say to yourself 8 years ago. I would say if I met that version of Jon who was playing guitar, I think I was still drinking then, probably that night as well. You know, what would I say to that version of me? Would I say, well, I would say, first of all, Jon, you know, keep doing your music. Your music is fun, and it is a huge part of your journey. And please do continue, because it becomes in many respects, the expansive expression of meditation. And meditation is the backbone of what's about to change in my life. And I'd be like, meditation? 8 year ago version of me would be saying, what do you mean meditation? Why would I be doing that? And say, oh, you're going to love it. It's even better than drinking alcohol or taking any substances, or better than some of your most lucid dreams. Meditation is a key that unlocks all these aspects of you that have been trying to get through. You've just been too busy bee, like an ant running around all the time. So I definitely feel that would be a good place to start. I would offer advice about the next 8 years. I'd say you don't need to push so hard. You can just keep going. Come on, Patch. Speaking of keeping going, you can just keep going, just keep being you, and know that it's true sometimes when I express myself more out of the box that people project onto me, that when I step out of those boxes, that sometimes people will complain to me, they'll get scared, they'll ask me what's going on with me, and just be prepared to continue to share bravely, not to ignore them, to say, this is me, I'm expanding, not just my waistline. I'm becoming all of me, all of Jon. And that's really exciting, right? Let's turn you around so you can see whatever this large vehicle is. I think it's like one of those forklifts for hay bales. So you can guess where we are. Look, we're in Amble. This is the northeast of England, Northumberland. Other advice I'd give is be really gentle with yourself. Not don't push yourself in the respect that you're always wanting more. You need to achieve more. You somehow need to prove yourself to others, or even worse, to yourself. And there's going to be so many opportunities. Look at Petch. This happens a lot. the wrapped around lead. Come on, Petch. I'm sure it's lovely. Let's keep walking. Now I've totally forgotten what I was saying. Yeah, and there's no need to seek validation from others. Just keep following your path, following your dreams, and do it at the right pace for you. You're going to transform your whole life, and you're going to re-become more who you were when you were, well, first of all, 4 or 5 years old, before you entered schooling systems in Scotland. And then also you're going to Petch. There's all these dog weeds. Yeah, as well as those experiences of when I was really young, there's also this opportunity to be very expansive. Just become a new version of you, which is exciting. We just turn you around. It's like a meeting of dogs. Come on, Petch. Lots of dogs, isn't it? You'd like that? Yeah, just more expansive. And it'd be quite funny saying that to yourself like 8 years ago. It's like, what do you mean more expansive? What does that mean? It's like becoming you, just even more you. Your soul and your higher self remembers so much more than is currently kind of in your life at this time. You're kind of using a fraction of your own abilities and your own self. John, remember when you were 6 years old and you could see shadow figures clearly, and you complained to your parents about them and that they scared you. Well, now's the time to go back to that version of you, that inner child, and say, you know what? All that was absolutely real. And yeah, it probably was quite a good idea to be scared. And that's okay. To be aware. And it's quite funny. I'm just thinking back to some of those vivid memories now when I was 6, and I'm just thinking, you know what? Wouldn't it be fascinating to know what was going on in the souls and in the minds of those beings they're often like these big tall shadows lurking around curtains. I'd see them like kind of flowing around the top of curtains and down the sides in the house that I lived in, and it would definitely scare me. I also remember, I don't know if this was the same age, maybe, yeah, it might have been as young as 5. I always had these two, how to describe it, like this kind of really weird, almost kind of like a little bit like a waking nightmare, but I usually experienced it in bed, maybe just before I went to sleep, and quite often when I was actually asleep, and I would see very vividly, right, 2 cells, as in, cells within our bodies, or in every living thing, right? And what I'd experienced was this, almost like something would be injected into the cells, and then the cells would be to allow the cells to merge. And I remember there's these, like, I'm just starting to remember the colours. The colours would be like blue and maybe a yellow, and they were merging, and I was just freaking out. It was like this intense fear, nightmare, almost like the feeling of your head's going to explode type migraine experience, not a fully conscious headache. And then almost as quickly as it started, it'd be over. So it only ever last a few seconds. And quite often I would scream out loud when it happened. And all I can feel into now about it, and it's an interesting experience to reconnect with, is that perhaps it was some form of engineering, genetic engineering, that I really didn't like, or a remembrance of it. So that was fascinating. Anyway, that was a bit of a rabbit hole. So yeah, there's definitely this experience of those very young childhood memories, remembering what I was like, and how that was much more expansive to my soul. Those experiences, I mean, these are all part of the helpful, soulful, journey of growth. I just felt that back then, certainly my psychic abilities were much more activated, like many of us. So yeah, I would say that to my, it's all a rabbit hole from what I would say to my myself from 8 years ago. And I guess what's important about this whole journey is that it was never really about becoming something new per se. It was more about like remembrance, and just remembering all the aspects of me. So that's definitely, a powerful experience. We can turn around here, Patch. And yeah, for all those moments in between, maybe this is the advice for 8-year ago version of me. Just before my awakening, I would say, when you do enter this journey, for which you will, because you choose it, please keep going no matter what. Keep believing in yourself, and keep working hard on those fears inside of you. Whenever you feel tempted to explore your addictions of fear, of lack, of conspiracy, look within, because all of what you need is within you. And I love you. And that would be me. So yeah, I hope this helps you. Please let me know what you'd say to your 8-year ago self. And it's exciting to support you on your journeys. And I'm glad it took me 8 years, because my future ones, my future 8 years, I'm sure, will be exciting too. But yeah, please take good care of yourselves, and I'm sending so much love from England. Thank you. Love you.